Hello everyone, welcome to another video with Professor Choi. Today we're going to be covering video number 7 of Investing for Beginners. Today I'm going to talk about a transaction called a stock short, or how to short a stock. Now usually when most people buy stocks, they buy them because they want the price of the stock to go up. So it's like buying any other asset. You basically buy it for say $100 and then you want it to go to 110 so you can make 10% on it. Or you buy a stock because it pays dividends and you basically want that dividend to come into your account regularly. So you do it for cash flow. Now, a short is usually a trade. This is not an investment. So a short is usually when you have a hunch and you think a particular stock is going to go down in price and you want to take advantage of that. So basically a short is a transaction that you can do in the stock market where you can take advantage and make money if the stock is declining in value. So you short a stock when the stock is going down in value, or when you think the stock is going to go down in value. Alright, now how do you execute this transaction? Well, instead of buying or selling normally, you have to sell short in order to start this transaction, and then you have to buy to cover in order to end this transaction. And again, I want to stress here that you do not short forever. This short is a trade and it is very dangerous. Alright, now to give you an example of how this works, let's talk about a company. So let's say company XYZ is $10 today and you think it's going to go down in value. Now in order to make money you have to short it if you think it's going to go down in value. So you would have to sell short. Now let's say that we're going to sell short 100 at $10. Okay? So we're going to sell 100 stock at $10. What's basically happening when you click on sell short is you're going to borrow 100 of this stock of XYZ, and then you're going to take it into the market, you're going to sell it at $10, which is the price that XYZ is today in the market. You sell it at $10. What that basically gives you is it gives you $1,000. Because you borrow 100 stock, you sold it at 10, so you have $1,000 in your hand. Alright, now let's say you wait a couple of weeks and then all of a sudden it goes from 10 to 7, just like you thought. In other words, the stock went down in price. Then what you basically want to do is you need to buy to cover. So sell to short, and then now you buy to cover. What you're basically doing when you buy to cover is you're buying 100 stock, which is what you owe your broker, at $7 each, which is the new price of the stock, and that's going to cost you $700. You then take the 100 stock that you just got from the market and you move it back to your broker dealer. Now, how do you make money on this transaction? Well, remember, when you sold 100 short, you had 1,000 in hand, and then when you bought it back, you bought it for 7, and that was $700. So that means that you're going to keep the difference between those two numbers. So you had 1,000, and then now you got 1,000 minus the 700 that you have to spend to buy it back, so you kept the $300 profit. And that's how you make money on a short. Now, let me explain to you why shorts are very dangerous. Imagine that this goes in the opposite direction. So instead of going down from 10 to 7, the stock then goes up to, say, 20. Now you're in trouble. And how are you in trouble? Well, because at some point you're going to have to buy it back and give it back to the dealer. Okay? So when you're going to buy it now, it's going to be 100 at $20, which is going to cost you $2,000. Then you give your 100 stock back to the dealer, but now you go 1,000 in hand before minus the 2,000 that you have to spend to buy it back, so you are negative 1,000, and you got a loss on this short. It gets worse. Usually when a stock is being shorted, lots of people pile on the short. So in other words, you see some people shorting, then all of a sudden a lot of other people start shorting, then a lot of other people start shorting, and then when it goes back up, in other words, if for whatever reason it's moving in the opposite direction, A lot of people get caught up in what it's called a short squeeze. The short squeeze is when lots of people that are short have to now come in and buy to cover at the same time. And why does a lot of people have to come in and buy to cover? Well, because a lot of the times that broker is going to be asking for their stock back. Okay? Because they need it in order to cover some other transaction, or they want to get rid of it because the price is higher. Okay? So you got to be very careful when you short a stock. Ultimately though, I need you to understand that if you ever buy, say, 100 stock at $10 with your own money, then you basically spend 1,000. And the worst case scenario is that goes down to 0, so you lose 1,000. Okay? So in a regular transaction, the maximum you could lose is what you put in. But in a short, you could lose infinity. Because if it goes up to 30, then now you got to spend 3,000. So now you got to spend 3,000, you're minus 2,000. If it goes up to 40, and you see the idea? So in a short, you have limited ability to make a profit and unlimited potential for losses. So you got to be very, very careful with a short. Again, this is a trade, not an investment. Alright? I hope you like my explanation of how a short works. And I hope you don't engage in a lot of them, because usually you get one wrong and it's going to be real bad. But this is how it's done. So thank you for watching another video with Professor Choi. Remember, if you like my videos, like it at the end and subscribe. Have a good one.